Alright, Schlockmeister fans, we're going to watch another one off of the 50 Chilling Classics movie pack. This one's called A Bucket of Blood, Dick Miller, 1959. Let's check it out.
Life is an obscure hobo, bumming a ride on the omnibus of art. Burn gas buggies and whip your...
Meet Dick Miller as Walter Paisley, working in a beatnik bar as a busboy/waiter.
Why, I pay you to look at pictures? I did what? I was just looking.
He's a wannabe artist. He really wants to fit in with this beatnik crowd.
I'm working on something that's not ready yet. What is it, man? Finger painting? And draw me a picture of a house roll. Make some smoke coming out of the chimney. I am working.
Here's Walter's landlady.
Do you think he'll understand? He's only a cat.
She's looking for her cat. I think he was supposed to be taking care of it or something, but the cat's missing at the moment. Like I said, Walter's a frustrated artist. He's trying to make something out of clay. He's got plaster. He's just very frustrated because he's really not that good at it. I think I hear the cat. The cat's stuck in the wall, and he's trying to break a hole in the wall to get the cat out. And I think he just stabbed the cat by mistake. Oops. Well, he figures he can't tell the landlady about the cat, so what is he going to do with the body or the carcass? He covers it in plaster, knife and all, and makes a sculpture. His boss agrees to set it up in the store and sell it.
Okay, sure. Does this mean I'm an artist?
Maybe so. You can do other things as well.
All that is comes through the eye of the artist. Yeah, you're a real artist now. I go back and scrub down those garbage cans.
His piece is a big hit amongst the beatniks.
And indeed, so it is. That master sculptor is in our midst. He's none other than Walter Paisley, our very own busboy, whose hands of genius have been carrying away the empty cups of your frustration.
Suddenly he's getting a lot of attention from people, including this woman. But don't trust her. She slips him something.
Is there anything I can do for you?
It was heroin she slipped him. And this is an undercover cop.
Horse? Horse, junk, white stuff, heroin.
Is that what that is?
I never seen any of that before.
I always thought that was expensive.
So he's getting ready to arrest him.
I ain't going no place with you. Walter, do I have to point this at you? You're going to shoot me. No, don't shoot me. Walter, just relax. No, you're going to shoot me. Just relax. Don't shoot me. Shut up. No, you're going to shoot me. Don't shoot me.
So now he's got a dead man in his house. What's he going to do? You can guess what he's going to do. Now I think this is his boss without his little beatnik hat on, and he discovers Walter's secret because piece broke off of the cat. So he knows what Walter's doing.
I got a new one.
Right. What is it?
It's a full-length, life-size figure. Crazy. What is it called? Where's man?
When do we get...
I want to buy his first work.
This guy buys the cat.
I'm sure that I get it. I'll pay you $500. $500 for the cat, and the first look at his next stop.
The big reveal of his new piece, which of course is the murdered policeman with a bonk on the head from the frying pan.
Don't you like it?
Walter, it's a masterpiece.
It would be wrong to show his pieces one at a time. Dead wrong.
You're right. You should build a collection first.
Good. Yeah, that's the idea. Maybe when it's big enough, we can have a show.
Now he's a star. His boss, who knows what he's doing, is encouraging him not to make any more statues like he's doing, for obvious reasons.
Sylvia.
They want him to work in nudes.
If you like, I'll be your model for free.
I couldn't. Not you. Man, if you're gonna be an artist, you gotta do news. Right. You post for it.
Remember what I said about my price?
$25 an hour.
If you want to pay it, I don't mind posting. When do you want to start work?
Tonight?
So that woman who had been rude to him earlier comes over, gets undressed, poses, and then Walter chokes her to death. And later on, the next big reveal.
Walter, I can't believe it.
I'm honored to know this man.
Next thing you know, he just kills this guy. I don't know if it's a lumber yard or what, but that big saw is going to knock his head right off. He shows his boss.
You made a bus. Yeah, isn't it wonderful?
What's the matter, Walter?
Put it down, Walter, please. Walter, listen to me carefully. I don't want you to make any more statues.
This is Carla, the only woman who was nice to him before he was famous.
Would you do one favor for me?
Just about anything, Walter.
Would you let me make a statue of you?
He wanted to marry her and she turned him down. They're just friends. A closer examination of his new statue of the woman who he killed. That's a real finger, isn't it? Carla confronts him.
Let them become clay in his hands that he might mold them.
Walter, you stay away from me.
Don't you see, Carla? I made them immortal. Don't you see, I can do the same for you.
Well, Carla bolted. He followed her for a while, but she lost him, so he goes home. And by now, the authorities are after him. How's he going to end it? Well, we were led to believe he was going to cover himself in plaster or something to end his life, but not quite. Although he does end his life.
I suppose he would have called it hanging man.
All right, let's talk about 1959's Bucket of Blood, A Bucket of Blood. This is a movie that I'd seen one time in my life, maybe back in the early 90s. I hadn't seen it since, but it's a pretty memorable film. It stars Dick Miller, who's been in like 200 movies or something like that. And this is a much younger Dick Miller, actually. I think he was 31 when he made this. He plays a guy named Walter Paisley. He works at a beatnik bar, and he's basically like a waiter/busboy type. He doesn't really fit in with the crowd there, although he wants to be. He's among all these pseudo-intellectual types, and he really longs to be part of them, but he's not. He's kind of dim-witted, so they don't really treat him all that great, but nonetheless, he keeps trying because he has this dream to be some sort of major master sculptor. So anyway, one night he's at home, and he's supposed to be taking care of the landlady's cat. Now the cat somehow gets caught in the walls somehow. So he decides to get the cat out. He puts a knife in the wall to break the plaster, and the next thing you know, he stabs the cat by mistake. He busts the cat out of the wall, but it's dead, of course. Got a big knife sticking out of it. Doesn't know what to do. He can't tell his landlady about it, so he decides to hide the cat in some plaster. He's been trying to be a sculptor and he sucks at it, but he's got this plaster. He covers the cat, and then it's a piece of art to him. So he decides to take it to his boss, who sells this kind of stuff in the beatnik bar. And the boss says, okay, I'll put it in the corner. If somebody buys it, we'll split the money. He agrees to that, and of course, everybody loves this piece. It's so realistic. Well, of course it's realistic because it's over a real dead cat. The piece sells. He becomes kind of well-known in this place now. And then he gets into a struggle with this policeman, undercover cop, because he has some heroin on him, does Walter, but it was planted on him. And Walter freaks out and hits the cop with a frying pan, kills him. Next thing you know, he's got a body. What is he going to do with that body? Put it in plaster. So he decides to do that, and then he reveals his new masterpiece to everybody called Murdered Man. And it's a dead cop inside of there, of course. Later on, he gets a woman who was making fun of him, gets her to pose nude, kills her, chokes her to death with like a bandana or something, and then makes plaster out of her too. So he's got all these pieces, and everybody loves his work because it's so realistic. And he's got this woman named Carla, who was like the only person who was nice to him before he was kind of getting well known and famous here. He proposes to her, but she's like, Walter, no, I don't like you that way. So then he decides, well, why don't you come over and pose for me? So there you go. Eventually his secret is found out, and Carla, the woman, finds out, and she's freaking out. And Walter's like, I can make you immortal like the other ones. So she takes off running. He chases her. She loses him. He ends up back at his apartment. By this time, the authorities are involved. They're on their way over to the apartment. He doesn't know what to do. So he decides. It sounded like he was probably going to cover himself in plaster or something like that to kill himself. But nope, he just hangs himself, and the police come in and they find him dead, and that's our movie. So anyway, that is A Bucket of Blood, which, by the way, I think was remade in the mid-'90s, perhaps with Anthony Michael Hall. I'm not sure. Never saw that. I don't know if it's the same plot or not. But anyway, that's the movie. Now, again, it's a very short film, 65 minutes long, but it's a fun film. It's very well done. And if you've heard the name Walter Paisley before, that's because Dick Miller used that same character name in several other movies over the years. For decades, he used that name, Walter Paisley, or just Walter, in several movies. I think even in The Howling, he was known as Walter, I think. But anyway, he did use that. It wasn't the same character, but it was the same character name. It was just kind of an ongoing gag for like I said, decades for him. So if you look on his IMDb page, you'll see a lot of Walters/Walter Paisley. So, but anyway, that is Bucket of Blood. Now, this has been in the public domain, I believe, for forever. I have it on this compilation, your 50 Movie Pack Chilling Classics. Somebody put out, I think it was Olive, the company Olive, put out a nice Blu-ray of this too. Apparently the picture's fantastic, so I'd like to see a cleaned up version to see how it looks. But anyway, it's a fun movie. I recommend it. It's very short, 66 minutes, 65 minutes. It's a great way to kill an hour. It's probably on YouTube streaming, so I'm sure you can find it. So anyway, check it out. Let me know what you think about this Roger Corman pseudo-classic, Bucket of Blood. Leave some comments. Bye. Buy the Blu-ray. I'll leave a link.